Well, you got your bucket list, your grocery list, your list of things to do. You got a list of all your wishes, that's a wish list, dude. You got your Amazon and Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy too. But I know a list that don't exist, and buddy, so do you. It's the Epstein list, it's a mystery list with a twist. It's a myth of a list that we all just missed. Be an optimist, not a pessimist. If you wish to persist, you probably ought to forget that list. What were we talking about?
Hey everybody, this is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. So today we have more bad news coming from the Trump administration because Donald Trump continues to flame out because he is determined to do whatever it takes to protect Jeffrey Epstein and all of his co-conspirators and all of those other PDF files that were involved. Now, I'm not 100% sure why he's doing this, but I suspect that it has something to do with the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was most likely working for another country's intelligence agency, and we all know which country that probably is. But Donald Trump's going to continue digging himself into a deeper and deeper hole. And this time he decided he was going to do it on his own platform, Truth Social, where for the first time ever, he was ratioed on his own comment, where he tried to defend not being forthright with the American people about the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein and what they found out. Let's take a look. So this is coming from Donald J. Trump on his Truth Social account. And he starts off, what's going on with my boys, and in some cases, my gals? They're all going to the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. It doesn't matter if you like what's happening, dude, because this is something that is beyond you. You're not some sort of king that we all have to bow to. And because you say we shouldn't worry about Jeffrey Epstein because apparently he's your buddy, that we all have to actually stop being concerned about the reasons why we voted for you in the first place. One of those reasons was government transparency, which you are not providing because you've become another part of the deep state. But we'll keep going. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it. All over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. For years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with the Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more? Well, sure, Obama was horrible. Biden was horrible. We don't like a lot of these people. That's why we didn't vote for them. We voted for you, and now you're the one who's turning around and saying, well, we don't need to have all of this government transparency. Yet again, everything is just a giant conspiracy against me. You are the one in power at this point, President Trump, and you're the one who's deciding not to release these files. You have all of the evidence, and you're just not being honest about what you found because either you're implicated in it or because this guy was an asset for another country who we have been protecting. That is unacceptable, and I don't care if Biden does it, I don't care if Kamala Harris does it, and I don't care if you do it. Wrong is wrong, and there is no two ways about it. Protecting PDF files, which is what you're doing, is unacceptable. I don't care if I voted for you or not. You are not a king, and you don't get to decide what the American people should be allowed to handle from these investigations just because you're probably implicated in it because you were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. They created the Epstein files, just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton / Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me. Now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. Why didn't these radical left lunatics release the Epstein files? If there was anything in there that could have hurt the MAGA movement, why didn't they use it? Well, sure, then why don't you release it? I mean, that cuts both ways, right? Like if there's nothing in there that can hurt you, then what's wrong with just telling the people what they want to know? Obviously, you're covering something up. There's no two ways about it, and you can't have it both ways. They haven't even given up on the JFK or Martin Luther King Jr. files. No matter how much success we have had, securing the border, deporting criminals, fixing the economy, energy dominance, a safer world where Iran will not have nuclear weapons, it's never enough for some people. Well, let's get to the Iran nuclear deal here. Oh, wait, we can't because you pulled out of it, which is one of the things that I criticized you over during your first presidency. But when you just bombed Iran on behalf of Israel, you weren't doing that for America. You were doing it on behalf of Israel. You weren't putting America first. You were putting Israel first. That's another reason not to trust you. And when it comes to immigration, you're running around saying at this point that, oh, well, we need to protect our farmers. We need to make sure that the hotel workers are okay. No, you were elected to deport people who are in our country illegally. And honestly, you're not even doing a great job with that. Obama deported way more people than Trump ever dreamed of. Trump is just going around with the correct rhetoric to make it seem like he cares about these things, but obviously doesn't, because he's not actually solving these problems. He's just saying that he is. But there's no evidence that any of these problems are actually solved. And now we're closer to war with Iran. He is continuing to arm Ukraine. And for some reason, we are getting involved in every conflict that's tied to Israel. Now, maybe that actually has something to do with why he's protecting Jeffrey Epstein and all of the co-conspirators there. Because this is a big deal. This isn't a one-off. If you're saying, well, yeah, he's doing a lot of good things, but then there is that one thing. Yeah, that one thing is protecting criminal PDF files who are running the country and the world. Jeffrey Epstein had an island where they committed all of these crimes, where some of the most powerful people in the world visited. That's pretty abnormal, don't you think? That's something that definitely should be covered. And if there is no there, then just release what you have and we'll make that decision for ourselves. But instead, we're getting poorly doctored videos of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. And that's supposed to prove what? It doesn't prove anything. The fact that you're giving us doctored videos that have time missing from them shows that Donald Trump is leading the conspiracy to protect those people that were working with Jeffrey Epstein. That's the reality, guys. We are about to achieve more in 6 months than any other administration has achieved in over 100 years. And we have so much more to do. We are saving our country and making America great again, which will continue to be our complete priority. The left is imploding. Yeah, that's not true. MAGA is imploding. There is a civil war going for people who will not be protecting Jeffrey Epstein as conspirators, and then the people that would rather kiss Trump's behind than actually be honest about what's going on. So you can decide which end you want to be on, but I'm not going to protect Donald Trump while he's covering up for Jeffrey Epstein and all of those co-conspirators. If you want to do that, that's disgusting. I don't care how awful the left is. What you're doing here is being dishonest. Imagine if Joe Biden did the same thing that Trump did. We would be up in arms about how disgusting this is. We need to hold our leaders as accountable as we would hold Democratic leaders. Because frankly, at this point, this isn't about right or left. This is pretty clearly just right and wrong. And if you assault children, then we know exactly which side of the right and wrong spectrum you're on. And there is no reason whatsoever to hide these people and protect them. Kash Patel and the FBI must be focused on investigating voter fraud, political corruption, Act Blue, the rigged and stolen election of 2020, and arresting thugs and criminals, instead of spending month after month looking at nothing but the same old radical left-inspired documents on Jeffrey Epstein. So hang on a second. Are you really going to keep relitigating 2020? You've already won again, man. We've already won that fight. That's over with. And you're telling me that everything with Jeffrey Epstein is just a radical left conspiracy now? So there was no crime. And if that's the case, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell still in prison? If there was no crime and this is all just a radical left conspiracy, then why is it, Donald Trump, that you don't pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? The fact is that you know that if you pardoned her, there would be outrage, and there should be outrage, because what you are actually doing is protecting these people, and that's an uncomfortable truth. That's today's uncomfortable truth, folks. Donald Trump protects PDF files, and that's the reality, because if he didn't, he would want these released more than anybody else. Because if he didn't, he would be releasing these files instead of making sure that they never see the light of day. He is protecting these people. Let Pam Bondi do her job. She's great. Well, Pam Bondi said that she had the files on her desk, so whatever happened with that. But apparently we're not supposed to question anything that Trump says anymore. If Trump says it, we're just supposed to believe it no matter what. But I'm done with that nonsense. The 2020 election was rigged and stolen, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. Bro, you won every swing state. Like, clearly it wasn't that rigged. That's what she's looking into as the AG, and much more. 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now, it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Let's keep it that way and not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Are you not paying attention? Like, how stupid are you, Donald Trump? Obviously, people care about it, which is why MAGA is currently ripping itself apart, because you have a bunch of people in MAGA who just are going to keep kissing daddy's butt And then you also have the people that are going to be principled and say, no, wrong is wrong. And just because Trump says to do something wrong or to believe whatever he says, I'm not going to do it. Release the files. And if you still believe Donald Trump at this point, I don't know what to tell you. There is nothing that we can do for you because you believe Donald Trump on a religious level. You don't believe in his policies. You believe that Donald Trump is a religious figure that we should have unlimited faith in. Well, I'm not about that, and this channel isn't about that. Well, everybody, that's what we have going on right now. We have Donald Trump continuing to protect Jeffrey Epstein, MAGA ripping itself apart, all because Donald Trump had corrupt dealings with a criminal who decided that it was more important to serve another country other than the United States, and that's embarrassing to Donald Trump, so he doesn't want to release the files. Or worst case scenario, maybe he's on some of those videos with some of those other PDF files. And this is bad, not just for Trump world, but for all of America. And there's nobody to blame except Donald Trump, and we need to hold him accountable. So everybody, that's all I have on this one. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you can handle the uncomfortable truths, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.